Dev vlogs are a wonderful thing. They let game developers share their entire journey from start to finish. But deep down, there's another reason why we create these vlogs: advertising. It's an easy way to promote our game before it's even released. We don't have to create extra content for social media because we're already creating it in the game. We think that by sharing the journey, we're advertising, but we're wrong. The problem lies with your target market audience. A dev vlog is a development vlog. You're sharing the journey of the creation of your game. In a developer's eyes, this is perfect because you can spend all of your energy developing your game, and the boring marketing part is a simple video once a week, sharing what happened that week. But that is where the main issue comes in. Think about what type of person is going to watch that type of content. Is it your target market audience, or is it other developers? It's extremely likely it'll be other developers. If that's who you're targeting with your game, then go ahead and start advertising through your dev vlog. But if it's not your audience, you need to add another layer to this strategy. Of course, there'll be people who stumble across your dev vlog and are interested in your game as well as game development. They may wishlist your game, join your Discord, follow you on Twitter, and purchase your game on release. That's a huge win, but statistically, that's not going to happen often. Marketing is a numbers game. If you can bring in enough viewers to watch your dev vlog, you'll have some viewers who convert to players, but you need to focus on the conversion rate. If you have 100 active viewers watching your dev vlogs and only one viewer becomes a player, you have a 1% conversion rate. This means for you to have 1,000 players, you need to have 100,000 active viewers for your dev vlog. Marketing is a numbers game, and when you know the numbers, you can make changes that will increase your conversion rate. If you're advertising your game to an audience that's not interested, you'll have a lower conversion rate compared to if you advertise directly to your target audience. You may get a 1% conversion rate with devlogs, but you might be able to get a 3% conversion rate if you create a Facebook group and start posting daily. That would mean you'd be able to get 1,000 players more efficiently. So, should everyone create a Facebook group and start posting? No. The numbers used are nothing. They are simply there as an example. What we're trying to show you is that a dev vlog to advertise your game isn't always the best option. There's no single strategy that will work with every game. You must first understand your audience, and then you can make decisions on how to advertise to them. It might be a dev vlog, or it might be something completely different. Figure out your target audience's demographics and psychographics. Before starting full development of your game, it's worth taking some time to figure out who your target audience is. This includes the player's demographics or psychographics. Demographics are statistics that describe populations and their characteristics. Demographic analysis is the study of a population based on factors such as age, race, and sex. Psychographics, on the other hand, is the psychological study of consumers and their attitudes, interests, personality, values, opinions, and lifestyles. You don't need a full 10,000-word essay on your audience, but if you highlight who you're targeting with your game and a few key details on where they choose to spend their time, who they socialize with, and their opinions, it will make the next step a lot easier. It shouldn't take long to get all this information together, and if you're anything like us, you will be constantly adding to this document as you find out more about your target audience as time goes on. When it comes to the marketing stage, you can use this document to effectively reach your audience. If you're designing a word puzzle game and you've concluded that your audience is to be male and female aged between 30 and 50 and don't have much time after working and taking kids to school, love reading and love socializing in intellectual Facebook groups such as book clubs, you know that if you were to create a marketing strategy, a dev vlog uploaded to YouTube is not the strategy to reach your audience effectively. Instead, it would be better to create a Facebook group with the intentions to schedule daily word puzzles in collaboration with book clubs on Facebook. A successful marketing strategy is not about screaming, "Hey, look at me and look what I created." You need to provide value to your audience first. Give them a reason to check you out, and in return, they might support the projects you're working on. This is why I said in the example to schedule daily word puzzles, because we established in that hypothetically, our target audience is players who love reading, love word games, and love socializing in intellectual Facebook groups, such as online book clubs. We're doing our best to provide value for free so we can be a part of their daily routines. There's also another problem with dev vlogs that people don't talk about. Have you ever heard of the saying, "What has been seen cannot be unseen"? Once something has been shared, there's no way you can unsee it. You can tell yourself to forget, but you won't. Here's an example. Take a look at the logo on screen. Of course, it's the 2014 Brazil World Cup logo. You can see the shape of the World Cup and the colours of the Brazilian flag. But it also appears like someone's face palming with their head in their hand. Now that we've highlighted the face palming person in the 2014 World Cup logo, you can't unsee it. You may go some time without seeing this logo again, days, weeks, months, or even years, but when you see this again in the future, you'll subconsciously be reminded of the face palming figure. Why is all this important? Why does the 2014 World Cup logo have anything to do with your game? For the viewers that watch your dev vlogs, who subsequently become players, they will never be able to unsee the previous states. If you're showing extremely early content as a grey box, by the time it gets to the full release, players will subconsciously be reminded of the grey box version. This is a complete immersion destroyer. This is why AAA game developers try to avoid showing extremely early builds until after the game is released. They may show development, but they'll do it in a way where they're showing the game engine, but they're showing a more or less complete scene or a smooth character animation. When things are shared too early, gamers go mental. We actually saw this recently with the GTA 6 leak. GTA 6 is trending every other week and has been for many years. Players are dying to play the game. They built up the hype in their imagination, but when it was leaked in September 2022, a lot of players were immediately put off. They didn't understand that this was early footage and they hated the way the game looked. Rockstar developers received a lot of hate because of this early footage, and other developers released early footage of their games in support. The difference for them was that they released early footage of games that were already public and sold years ago. Whereas Rockstar, they have a tough hill to climb in order to get the early footage out of players' minds, as it will kill immersion. What has been seen cannot be unseen, just like the Brazil World Cup logo of a figure face palming. With all that said, devlogs still have their place. If you're creating something that is targeted towards developers, then it makes sense to share your journey and have that as your main marketing strategy, because it directly ties into the audience you're selling to. If you're not trying to sell your game, but instead just making a game for your portfolio, then a devlog is perfect. Alongside having a game, your devlog will also share the ups and downs of each stage of the process. If you encounter a problem, which, let's be real, will happen as a game developer, you can highlight the problems you faced in your journey and share how you overcame them. This is great from an employer's perspective because when reviewing your work, they'll be able to play the game you created and they will also be able to see how you manage your projects. Who knows what might happen with your devlog? You might not have the best-selling game, but maybe you have a future as a content creator. This is what happened with Danny. Danny is a great game developer, but he's an even better content creator. He created devlogs that were targeted to anyone who was interested in game development, and they blew. He was still able to pursue his passion of creating games, but it was funded by content creation. There were lots of people who did play his games, but that's nothing to the amount of people who watched his videos. His development process was flipped. He planned videos first and then created games that would best suit his audience, rather than creating games and then marketing them to an audience. Devlogs certainly have their place, but using them as the whole marketing strategy for your game's release is a massive mistake. The risk of destroying player immersion on the final release, as well as the low conversion rate you could have, is not worth the time. However, if you're creating a devlog for the sole purpose of building your portfolio, sharing your journey, or becoming a full-time content creator, then please share your channel in the comment section down below.